Welcome back to Real Phonies, where we combine a love for movies and television with not a lot of actual knowledge about movies or television. I'm your host, Joseph. With me are my co-hosts, Hurt,
Potato,
and Ian.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Christian is still not with us because he still has a newborn baby that he probably has to deal with, even though I'm not sure that his priorities are straight, if I'm honest with you.
No. That baby doesn't give a shit about Spider-Man.
We've got dozen of listeners who are depending on us for content,
for opinions about early '80s Spider-Man movies.
Absolutely. So as Hurt may have alluded to, we are doing the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, which are, if you're not familiar with who Sam Raimi is, they're the Tobey Maguire ones from the early 2000s. Right. The kind of, well, along with X-Men, kind of what kicked off the current trend of superhero movies.
I definitely think Spider-Man the success of Spider-Man led to the era of superhero movies of what we're in now more than X-Men did.
Yeah, because Spider-Man was 2002, X-Men was 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think Spider-Man did like a ton of money. X-Men did well, but I think Spider-Man made that was the first big superhero blockbuster.
And as Hurt will often say, it's the first comic book movie that's not ashamed that it's a comic book movie, or at least,
no, totally.
In the last 20, 30 years,
I would say the first Superman movie is not ashamed.
Agreed.
Movie, but that's about it till you get to Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Coming into this movie, like we're saying, a lot of the movies prior to this had been kind of the grimdark Tim Burton Batman from 89 through, I'm not really sure how we got from there to Batman and Robin.
Right. Well, the thing is with if you're a fan of superhero movies just from like Marvel movies and like The Dark Knight forward, then it's hard to realize how much you just had to check your expectations at the door for comic movies back in the day. Like it was so much, there was just so much of meddling of no one's going to actually like this thing if we put this thing on screen. So, some fucking executive has to decide, well, we'll do a better version of the thing, So by the time you get the thing, it has almost nothing to do with the thing. The Tim Burton movies, I have a lot of that in them, I still love the first two Tim Burton movies a lot. Just for style, but I don't know if they're great Batman movies.
Sure,
they don't have a lot of what I love about Batman in them. They actually are. Did you guys read that thing this week? Because this was like the 30th anniversary of Batman '89, and there was a thing where Robin was originally supposed to be in the original one, and and it's the way he was supposed to be in there was very Marvel movie. Like it was going to be, you remember the part where they're in the apartment and, the Joker with Vicky Vale and Bruce Wayne shows up and he gets shot in the pan and that somehow stops a bullet. Ugh. Anyways, well, apparently there was supposed to be a chase after that, which was going to be Bruce Wayne with a ski mask over his head chasing the Joker. And as they were making the getaway, the Joker was going to drive through a circus tent and kill the Flying Graysons.
That would be fucking amazing.
And, you were going to get a no Dick Grayson. And, and Sam Hamm, the screenwriter's like, and the next guys doing the next one could deal with how they were going to do fucking Robin. That has nothing to do with the podcast we were talking about. I just thought that was
I did read, though, did you guys know that Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, was supposed to be in Spider-Man 1?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, so, and this is actually funny. Kevin Feige is an executive producer on Spider-Man, and it was his idea. And apparently Hugh Jackman was in New York, and they were going to film a cameo for the first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And the whole thing fell apart because they could not find his costume.
Oh my God.
And they lost a day. Like, apparently that's the whole story.
Just put him in a flannel shirt.
I know,
man,
like a yellow and black shirt. But yeah, so
right.
that he was supposed to be, and Kevin Feige apparently had this idea from the get-go. Just it was supposed to be like a quick cameo.
Yeah.
From the he was trying to do. He knew how powerful that would be even back then. You
right.
know what I mean?
I mean, I think he might have known how powerful it might have been. It might have just be that Kevin Feige is a huge comic book nerd, and that would have really jazzed his comic book nerd.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
A lot of these movies have the stink of Avi Ard on them. He's like Kevin Feige, we just don't know how spoiled we are for that dude who actually cares about these properties and just trying to show you how smart they are. But I don't want to start off with crap talking these movies. I like these, but I'm not a big fan of the sort of interference aspects of these movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we were talking about before this that, these movies had a hard time getting to the screen. Like Spider-Man was in development hell for like 20 odd years.
Yep.
Marvel, I think in like the 80s or maybe in the late 70s, just sold the rights off to somebody who got bought out by somebody else, who then got bought out by somebody else. And then there was some contention as to which one of those companies had the fucking rights. And I think there's at one point where there's a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie called Cyborg. And that movie was made specifically because they had built sets for a Spider-Man movie that didn't get made and a Masters of the Universe sequel that didn't get made. And they literally gave some hack fucking screenwriter a picture of the sets they had built. It's like, write me a movie for this.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch that movie now.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive it's Cyborg and those two movies that are, so it's sort of like a cyborg of movies. But
I like that you beat yourself up
I know.
behind your own joke as you were telling.
yeah. But yeah.
How dare you even have those thoughts, Jason Hurd?
I know.
Well, I read James Cameron wanted to do it for a long time, and he couldn't get it off the ground because I guess the special effects just weren't there yet,
Right.
and some of his ideas. So then it bounced around, and then I think Sam Raimi coming off of Darkman is how he getting that movie.
Right.
And,
Well, I mean, Sam Raimi was a lot cheaper at that point too.
yeah, yeah.
But have you read any of the stuff about what James Cameron was going to do with it?
I hear he's going to be a graphic sex scene between Mary Jane and Peter Parker.
And there was going to be a lot of, because he was actually the one who I think came up with the ideas for the organic web shooters, but he was going to do all this wet dream shit with it and stuff like that, where he'd wake up and, oh no, webs have shot everywhere. I'm becoming a man, I mean,
that is a lot of what Spider-Man is.
I think he was coming off Titanic, and like I have a thing where before Tobey Maguire got this role, they went through a bunch of people, and Leonardo DiCaprio is one of the people.
Leonardo was at one point. Leonardo was reported as cast as Spider-Man.
Yep, and Freddie Prinze Jr. apparently Sam Raimi had signed and he had agreed, and then I guess Freddie Prinze Jr. backed out, and Sam Raimi held a grudge for a very long time, is what they're saying. And quoted as saying he'll never be able to buy a ticket to this movie.
I'm not saying that Tobey Maguire has really made it. Probably in the last decade. But just imagine the difference in Freddie Prinze Jr.'s career if he had taken this role.
I was about to say, if anyone should hold a grudge against Freddie Prinze Jr., it should be fucking Freddie Prinze Jr. Because that was a bad decision.
100%. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that they got the right guy. Tobey Maguire, I think the hesitation was they didn't think he could do the action scenes. But you don't really need him to.
Well, I mean, his biggest problem is that he cannot land a joke. Yeah. He just does not know how. Which they get better with in the second movie because they just decide to make him the butt of the jokes.
Right, and I definitely think that's... I mean, he's a sad sack Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Which I think is an okay direction to go. It is funny to me that, you guys may not have been aware of this, but for a small portion of time there, Tobey Maguire was like the sexy guy because he was Spider-Man. Like, my sister was just the right age. She was like preteen era when the first Spider-Man came out. And she was all in on Tobey Maguire, which is so strange in retrospect, because he's got this weird man-baby face.
Right, no, he does. Well, that, like, him and James Franco fucking hate each other because he walked in on James Franco saying he looked like a toad.
Yep.
I did not know this.
He had frog-like features, is what he said.
Yeah, they fucking despise each other.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire got a little ripped for that role, though, right?
He didn't. He didn't get like modern day ripped. Like he got ripped. Like,
expectations were lower.
That's one of the first times someone's gotten ripped.
Prior to that, it was fucking Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton just like wore a suit. He was like, "I'm not taking my shirt off." But yeah, these, I rewatched all three of these, and
he's too fucking old.
Well, for sure.
Right off the bat, that was the first thing I was going to bring up. Is the first scene early on, not the first scene, but when they go to see the spiders and stuff like that, all those kids look like they're fucking 40. There's like a black guy who's supposed to be their teacher, and he looks younger than all of them. Like
this is Grease logic for high school casting. Because, again, as a child who doesn't really fully understand the difference between like 16 and 40 and 60.
Right.
I look at this, oh yeah, those are like grown-ups, which is what high school is to me when I saw this movie. So like, it never even registered to me until I was much older.
The first one, I think these movies they get sort of a bad rap these days because people are just spoiled by Marvel movies. But I think they're pretty good.
I think they hold up pretty good.
I think it's like a very pure, from what I remember, comic to like film adaptation.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the first Spider-Man, which is 2002 one, the first one, Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi, all the people you know. I mean, it is an origin story that you couldn't get away with today because it is too generic, but it was like an excellent execution of a comic book accurate origin story.
It follows the structure to Superman the movie a lot. Like, it has the sort of thing, but it definitely set the standard of not just what superhero movies would be, but what like high concept movies would be for the next couple of decades, in that there's got to be 45 minutes before anything incredible happens.
Yeah.
And I clocked it. It was 39 minutes before you see Spider-Man in costume in this. And even that's just his pajama costume.
Yeah.
But there's some things in they just like beat you over the head with that, again, I feel like they just mention that Mary Jane is the girl next door like too much. So you can just hear Avi Art saying, no, you got to make sure that not only that she's the embodiment of the girl next door, but you make sure you know she is the girl next door. And that just is kind of groan worthy a lot in it.
Sure.
What do you guys think? So do you guys think Mary Jane, Kristen Dunst is good? Let's go through the first one. Compared to like Emma Stone and I
mean, not a lot is asked of her.
Honestly, I think she has trouble emoting in the first two, and I think it's just because she's fucking hungry. Like, she is so fucking skinny in those
really
movies,
thin.
man.
Yeah.
And, it's like, just give that girl a sandwich so she can emote.
Yeah.
Like, she just seems tired.
What about James Franco as Harry?
It's so hard for me to look back on James Franco anything
and
objectively.
I think James Franco is great as an appendage of Willem Dafoe.
Sure.
He looks so much like he could be Willem Dafoe's unimpressive son that he works great for that.
That's a good point.
I do love that contrast of the two of their personalities.
Yeah.
William Dafoe's perfect.
Willem Dafoe's so good.
He hands it up so fucking much. He's exactly what I talk about when you need for one of these shows. Someone who thinks it's kind of ridiculous and is just going for it anyway. When he comes out of the fucking goblin mist and that like hiss thing he does and stuff, oh man, that's Boner Town. That's just great.
Yeah, he's going. I mean, he's let down by the suit a little bit.
I still like the suit a fair bit. I think that a lot of the CGI scenes with him on the glider do not hold up very well.
I think particularly the ones in the daytime. The ones at night still look nice.
But I don't hate the costume.
I don't like
as
the
much
helmet. The helmet's what gets me. It looks kind of stupid.
It's just funny that this was definitely a movie that was not considering that in like 5 or 6 years, you'd be watching this on high def in your house.
Right.
Which is weird because fucking Sony made it. You'd think they know that was coming. But yeah, I mean, like, you totally, like, watching it in theaters, I never saw Willem Dafoe's, like, mouth moving in the mask and stuff. And watching at home, like, it does look... The costumes definitely still have one foot in the 90s. Spider-Man's costume, too. It could be better. It's a little... I don't know. It just looks a little too much like a pool toy.
Okay.
I
don't know. I and this is me defending my nostalgia because this was a big deal for me in my childhood. I like the texture of like it because not necessarily like the pool toy texture, but the fact that it's a very textured costume. Like it's got a lot of it doesn't. It's not just like a flat, skin tight latex thing.
What I like about these movies a lot is, like Tim Burton on the Batman movies, it has a style. Like,
definitely.
These are definitely Sam Raimi movies. They have like Sam Raimi action. Like, he doesn't quite go for dragging the camera across the ground, Evil Dead style, but there's a whole lot that is definitely Sam Raimi about this.
I mean, talking kind of to that point is he does such a good job of like setting stages for like the flashy sequences, like the first Spider-Man swinging, the Harry Osborn going and killing all the fucking military guys, and then, the big one in I don't know, is it a parade? What the fuck is it?
The parade, yeah, it's a parade.
I just feel like he does such a good job of like setting the stage. It's not like that scene happens, but you get familiar with what's happening, like, where you are and where the people are and all this kind of stuff, and then you introduce the chaos.
And those like quick cuts with like hard zoom ins on like on reactions and stuff. It's like it's over the top in just the right way.
I really like it. Yeah.
Sam Raimi's a good director.
Yeah.
So here's one thing I wondered that I hadn't noticed till this time when watching it. when he first realizes he has powers and stuff, do they imply that his spider powers gave him a bigger dick?
Is there a part where he opens his...
I remember that. She says, have you changed? And he looks down at his junk and says, yeah, big changes. That is not comic book canon. Spider-Man does not get a bigger dong from being Spider-Man. I don't think spiders have giant dongs.
That was probably
sure.
a Tobey Maguire insisted add-on. I heard one of the things I read is he was a complete douche on set. And Joe Magnolelli, who went on to play True Blood, Alcide, he's Flash Thompson, apparently.
No shit!
Yes. Wait.
Yes.
Oh my god, I was like literally just looking at that and going like, why did this nobody get to be Flash Thompson?
What the fuck?
And apparently, I Google it. This is what I read though.
I'm looking at it right now.
The cast tried to pay him money to punch and break Tobey Maguire's nose in a fight.
Well, I've heard he's not a great dude.
That's a shame because hearing about the Tobey Maguire James Franco feud, I want to be on Tobey Maguire's side, but maybe there's a no-winner situation.
No, apparently there's a movie called Molly's Game. It's like a true story. It's about and Michael Cera's character is Tobey Maguire, and apparently that was like he was a fucking
holy
douchebag.
Shit! It is Joe Manganiello.
That is crazy. That guy. I mean, and not in any kind of bad way, but he's aged a lot. Like most everybody else in that movie kind of looks like the same person now, but like he looks like a completely different dude, but like a better looking.
He looks
dude.
like a fucking man. Yeah. Everyone else still looks like they could be in a high school movie.
Speaking of Flash Thompson, anyone who went to that high school who doesn't know that Peter Parker is a Spider-Man is a fucking idiot. Yeah. Like that's the worst kept secret ID ever. Like he does everything Spider-Man does in that lunchroom hallway scene. I just can't believe that didn't come up in later movies.
Also, I'm sure you're going to say the fun fact about that lunchroom scene.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say next.
Yeah, good.
That's why apparently he was, like, all this you say, and then I'll tell you what I was doing.
Yeah, which is funny because I like, it's a scene that I distinctly remember from this. It's a memorable scene where Mary Jane slips and falls with her lunch, and he catches Mary Jane and then catches her lunch tray and all the shit on top of it, like, in order without it falling, which... I mean, especially in 2019 dollars, like that's $5 of CG. You know, like I can do that shit on my iPhone now. Right. But apparently Sam Raimi fucking insisted that they do that practically, and so they did that. They did that shot like 200 times.
Yeah, well, I hear Tobey Maguire's the one who insisted they do it practically, and he wouldn't let him move on. Right. And that's what like really pissed the crew off.
Right.
And so when he catches her and catches the tray and all the shit that falls down on the tray, he literally fucking does that.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, that's
times.
Pretty fucking amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
They did use adhesive.
But it's also the most unnecessary practical effect.
Right.
Like so much work for one dumb effect.
It is ridiculous.
It's great though. I really appreciate that.
You know, the great cameo in this by Randy Macho Man Savage.
Yes, absolutely. The bone saw.
Oh yeah.
Looking back at it from 2019, when we're all, you know, a little better maybe than we were then, is cute outfit homophobic or sexist? Do you remember that line?
Yeah,
like when he, you know, he tells Randy Macho Man Savage, cute outfit, did your husband make it for you? I think it's sexist. I don't think he was implying that he's gay married. I think he was implying that he's a lady.
Yeah.
So I'm going with it's a sexist line.
Good. Yeah. We can settle that one forever.
I like that. I forgot Macho Man's in this movie.
Yeah, he's great.
Bonesaw is ready.
That's the only imitation I'm ever going to try to do on this podcast because I love it so much.
I feel like they should never do another Uncle Ben scene because that's perfect. Like they did a good. Like I don't want Uncle Ben. They did it too, but like that's the Uncle Ben. That's the one they should do.
Here is my theater memories of this because I was already living. You guys were children, and I was already living the life. You know, I wasn't entrenched yet. I was still like a baby in the life, but I was living the life.
Yeah.
So, do you guys remember learning Batman and Superman's origin, or do you just always kind of know it?
I always feel like I knew it.
Yeah, I just always knew it. How about Spider-Man though?
No, I always knew that too.
See, I can remember learning Spider-Man, and I think that's a generational thing because of this movie, or because of, I guess, more of how he was presented in the 90s. But because I think a lot of people going into this did not know Uncle Ben's dying was a part of Spider-Man's origin. Because I would always try to be in the theater when Peter like let the criminal go by, because people would clap and shit. They fucking loved it. They thought that was a great scene. And like 2 minutes later, they were like, "Oh shit,
that's pretty amazing."
It was fucking awesome. That's my big memory from this, is that people did not know Spider-Man's origin.
Yeah, I feel like people are just, because like internet is like more knowledgeable on that kind of stuff.
Sure,
now.
yeah.
But you're probably right. I feel like now people.
Oh, that would be that would be an amazing reaction to be in there for
that live.
I really think it was one of the things that made this movie hit, is that emotional punch.
Yeah, I mean, definitely comparatively to the fucking Waynes.
Right, right.
You're spending some time with Uncle Ben.
Right, right. And he's really likable. Cliff Robertson is great in this.
The only other thing I've read that I wanted to mention is Sam Raimi really wanted a real spider, and the only one he liked was a Black Widow. So... He was upset they couldn't use the Black Widow, it was too dangerous, so they found another one that looked similar. They, I guess, auditioned the spiders, and they actually painted it. So the spider's painted, and that's a real spider that's crawling on top of him, which I thought was cool.
I appreciate the commitment to the details.
Yeah.
It's just weird when you get in this position, the shit that you can insist on.
Yeah, I know, right?
I have like 3 more things I want to mention about this one before we move on.
Okay.
First of all, I am disappointed every single time Elizabeth Banks isn't Parker Posey. Like, watching...
Look, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know that they were 2 different people.
Right.
I thought that Parker Posey was just an uglied up Elizabeth Banks in like, fucking what is it, like the Blade movie and whatever other things. Right. I just found out from the Lost in Space series that they're 2 different people.
See, I fucking love Parker Posey, and going into this, I was like, man, Parker Posey should be Betty Brant. And then when I was watching it, because, we didn't have IMDb at that point, I was like, oh shit, that is Parker Posey, and it's not. And I literally did it again watching it just now. I was like, hey, there's Parker Posey, and it's not. It's Elizabeth Banks. J. Jonah Jameson is awesome.
Yep.
Fucking, best part of these movies.
If there's a casting of the century, I'm calling it.
I think the craziest thing about this movie, there's no third act into the world MacGuffin. It's just 2 dudes fighting.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He kidnaps a girl and they get into a fight on it. That is so rare in movie theaters. Superhero movies. They've got to come up with some way that the whole the city's in danger, or the whole world is in danger.
I think they need to get back to like smaller endings. I think they've gotten too much into the city with a blue sky. You know what I mean? There's like so much of that now.
Well, I mean, Far From Home kind of did that, but there was also like the threat of, okay, but if this plane gets away, there might be an end of the world scenario to it.
Yeah.
But I liked that aspect a lot. All in all, this one, I was worried watching it I wouldn't like it as much, and I had a lot of fun watching it.
I also want to say that on that note of kind of like the difference in style, one of the things that I feel like this movie does well is it's so much about like Peter Parker / Spider-Man's like internal struggle and like learning things.
Right.
And they spend like a lot of fucking time on that. And there's a lot of times where he's not fucking the best guy.
Right.
And that's okay. Like, again, you struggle with him and you still accept him in spite of it.
I mean, that's very true to the early comics.
Yeah.
Peter in early comics was kind of a dick about half the time. Mm-hmm. So
is no spoilers, but is Tom Holland ever a dick in the new Spider-Man?
No,
he's an adorable little British fucking thing.
Yeah.
Also, the Stan Lee cameo in this one's kind of weak.
Well, that wasn't a fucking thing yet.
Is this the first Stan Lee cameo?
I think it might be the first one.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to be an X-Men, but it didn't work out for whatever reason.
He wanted to be J. Jonah Jameson in this, and that
I would also be okay with that. Maybe we could just save
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, just save J.K. Simmons for later. That's fine. So we want to move on to Spider-Man 2.
Move on to Spider-Man.
Probably the strongest one of the series.
Here's the thing: going into this, I would put, and I still will put this in like maybe top 5 superhero movies.
Yeah,
but of the 3 of them, I enjoyed rewatching it the least.
Interesting.
It's really long.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that.
And it's the most based on Peter and MJ's romance.
Yeah.
And they do not sell it. Because again, she needs a sandwich.
This one is also, all of them are kind of about spider impotence. But This one is the most about spider impotence.
This one literally has spider impotence in it.
Yeah, they really hammer that home.
His Spider-powered dick will not work in this.
I will say I do not remember the third act of this movie like at all.
You know what? You know one thing? You think that the train fight was in the second act, but it's in the third.
Is it really?
Yeah, it goes immediately from the train fight into the
Interesting.
into-
Okay.
Isn't it like in the water, the harbor?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like in a abandoned warehouse, and Mary Jane's in a web, but I don't remember how the actual fighter conflict goes.
That train scene is dope.
Yeah, no, the
That's
train
the
scene
best.
is the best scene.
The train scene is really fucking good.
It's the best 5 minutes of Spider-Man.
I have a theory as to why I didn't enjoy this one as much rewatching it though. Do you guys want to hear an analogy about Van Halen or Nirvana?
Van Halen.
Okay, Van Halen. All right, Van Halen came along and they came with Van Halen 1 and it's one of the best rock records of all time. But it inspired almost exclusively crap. Like just so many shitty bands wanted to be Van Halen.
Yeah.
That sometimes trying to tell people Van Halen is awesome, they can't see it. And I think the parts of this that were like really new and fresh are the parts that I hate about superhero movies now.
Sure.
The parts that are, where they talk about, being a hero and make speeches about destiny and shit like that. When this came out, that was like, oh wow, man, that's not too on the nose at all. Rewatching it now, this is totally too on the nose. Still a great fucking movie, but like there's an Aunt May speech about it in the middle, and man, I could have lived without that.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of...
Did you rewatch this one?
I didn't watch rewatch anything. Okay. Hashtag real phonies. Yeah, I mean, the things that I remember about this movie is, comparatively to Norman Osborn, where they just make a great villain. And I mean, like, he's semi-sympathetic in the fact that, like, you understand why he has to experiment on himself. But he's also, you kind of lose sympathy for him over time. Alfred Molina is sympathetic the whole time.
No,
he's very likable, and you want Spider-Man to win, but you also don't want, like, Alfred Molina to get lost in the process.
He's also the first villain that's great, I think, in a superhero movie.
It's also crazy that he was just a character actor before this. He was never really a star. And then he just went back to being a character actor after this.
Yeah.
Like
and I mean, like, everyone loves this performance.
He looks just like Doc Ock. You know? He's perfect.
There is a lot more octo titties than you remember. Like, he has his shirt off a lot.
I mostly remember that. Oh man, how good is that fucking surgery scene?
The surgery scene is great.
Oh my god, where the he first gets the thing melded to him and it kills all the robotic arms automatically kill all the doctors.
That scene's also Raimi as fuck.
It's so Raimi.
That was the one that I guarantee you going into this, that dude was like, I can't wait to film that shit.
No, absolutely. That's probably why he picked Doc Ock.
Oh, one thing about the start of this movie you guys might not remember since you guys didn't rewatch it, and I did. It starts off with a recap of the first one told through Alex Ross art.
Really?
And it's really fucking cool.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you should pop it in sometime just to see that part because it's really cool.
And how long is this after the first movie set? Is it like a year? Because he's in college now, right?
Yeah, he's in college, but he's in college halfway through
the
first one.
Yeah, so I guess it's pretty right after.
I think 2 and 3 are pretty close together, but I think this is set a couple. No, at one point, May mentions that Ben died 2 years ago, so it's like 2 years after. But then there's the time jump in the middle of the first one, so maybe it's right after. Who fucking knows?
Continuity wasn't that big of a deal back then.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible not to talk about the train scene because the train scene it's the most memorable thing. I mean, it's a big, long scene. There's a lot of different elements to it. There's like the big action fight scene. There's the whole civilians with Spider-Man when he's passed. Like, there's a lot of shit going on in it. It's kind of the most iconic thing to take away from this movie.
One thing I really thought while watching this came out in 2004, and that's exactly the last year you could have done that segment where he takes off his mask and everybody, helped him get his mask and stuff like that. Because 1 year after that, everybody had a camera phone and everybody went snapping the shit out of that shit.
Sure. Yeah. That's still a great scene.
No, it's an awesome scene.
And my other favorite part of that scene is the bit that the whole sequence is amazing. I would just watch that whole thing as a movie. But after that sequence, they realize that Spider-Man's a person. He's like, he's my son's age, that kind of thing. It's great. And then it's the whole New York stands up for Spider-Man while he's passed out. They all like get between him and Doc Ock, and you think, oh yeah, the New York's gonna save Spider-Man, and then Doc Ock just shoves him to the side. That's a great sequence because you're not expecting that to happen.
This one had maybe my favorite line in any of the movies, which is when Peter's delivering the pizzas in the first sequence, and he's gets sidelined and he goes off and he comes back as Spider-Man with the pizzas, and there's a cab driver who yells, "He stole that guy's pizzas!" Originally, that was supposed to be the Stan Lee cameo in this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they went with the Falling Rubble one instead.
That would be standard for a Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is, again, I say I enjoyed rewatching this one the least, but I still think it's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, it's the best one.
Yeah.
I think universally held as the best of the three.
I think it really is where you start with the kind of movies that we would see in Marvel movies.
So it holds up pretty well and didn't feel dated?
It doesn't feel... same as the first one, a lot of the special effects during the day don't look great. They look great at night. But the train battle scene still looks fucking great. I don't know if you guys remember the fight very much where May is a prop. And that one's a little hard to swallow because that would have broken that old lady's back.
Yeah, the one thing I remember like the hard scenes that Sam Raimi does not try to like steer away from, where in the first one where Peter Parker gets mad and yells at Uncle Ben and pulls no punches, and then in this one where he tells Aunt May that he kind of contributed to getting Uncle Ben killed. And like Aunt May is not like comforting or anything.
She just walks the fuck
she's
off.
so fucking angry, and I love that. Like it's again unexpected. It's a powerful scene. I feel. Yeah,
well, I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that happens with this movie. Like the Spider Imson scene takes section. The raindrops keep falling on my head.
I also only remember that.
Takes a lot of this movie. There's a long section of it
where he actually comes to one of the plays.
I tell you what I don't get about this second and third one, though, is what am I supposed to get from the girl who lived next door?
Sure.
I feel like there's something that's supposed to be symbolic about it, and it's always went over my head.
The Russian person?
Yeah.
I heard that it's like Mr. Ditchovich or something. It's named after Steve Ditko.
Well, I mean, the dad is definitely named after Steve Ditko. I just don't understand. Like, she gets a pretty prominent part in this that doesn't pay off in any way. Yeah. But that is a lot what I like about the second and third one more than the first one. There's a lot more just like weird like scenes, like Hal Sparks and Spider-Man in the elevator and stuff like that. And they make a lot better use of the Parker luck of just like, bad shit happening to Spider-Man and it just being kind of funny.
That's all I got on the second
one. I was about to say,
that's all I got on the second.
I also feel like it's important to state the first two for me, 1 and 2, are better than Transformers.
Right, I agree with that totally.
Yeah, 100%.
I only say that's important because we're about to go on to Spider-Man 3, where I think it's going to be a bit more of a split decision.
Oh, it is because this is going to be. I'm sure this is going to be like Joseph's Wolverine origins. Because I went into this thinking that I loved it when I came out, but I've never watched Spider-Man 3 again.
You have been standing up for this movie for 15 years now.
I've literally had one of the best times in a movie theater ever when I saw this. And I've never watched it since then because part of me was like, if I watch it again, it may not be as fun. Maybe everyone else will be right. I totally had the most fun watching this of the three of them. It's the most overtly fun of the three of them. If you want to try to hold together the plot of it, if that's what matters to you the most, the plot, there's some stupid parts about the plot. But as far as being fun, I think it's a fun fucking movie, and I had a lot of fun watching it. I will say it starts off with not an Alex Ross recap, just a recap with scenes from the other movies, and I thought that was a little whack. I thought that was Bush League. But overall, I liked it.
So, just out of curiosity, what is the plot of this movie?
Okay. I mean, what is the plot of any of these movies, though? The plot of these movies is Spider-Man has to be a hero, and he wants to be in love with Mary Jane, and him wanting to be a hero makes it hard to be in love with Mary Jane. That's the plot to all three of these movies, and
every Spider-Man movie.
Right, and this one's no different. Thomas Hayden Church looks cool as fuck as Sandman. The first two Sandman fights are almost as good as the fucking train fight.
Well, you can tell that, like, reportedly, like, the studio got involved with this. Like, Sam Raimi did not want to put Venom in the movie.
Right.
He was forced into that.
Right.
And you can, I think, tell from what I remember, I think he wanted Sandman to be the villain. Like, that's where Sam Raimi's focus wanted to be.
For sure. I mean,
it's almost like he purposely fucked up Venom.
Yeah.
I think he was spiteful. And I think he cast not Tobey Maguire, the guy from that 70s show.
Yeah.
What is it that everyone hates so much about this version of Venom? Because I was watching it today, and except for the fact that Topher Grace is skinny, it's fucking Venom.
Doesn't he have bleach blonde hair or something?
So does Eddie Brock.
But Eddie Brock's jacked. You know what I mean?
He has maybe the most true to the original character's origin of anyone in these movies.
That's actually a fair point.
He's a guy who gets humiliated by Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man gets rid of the alien costume, and they fall in love and go to have revenge against which, by the way, do you know there is Venom and Eddie Brock / fiction?
I'm not surprised.
Where they have a loving and sexual relationship. It's a real thing.
I'm not surprised by that at all.
There's something for everybody on the
There
internet.
is.
So
beautiful and terrible at the same time.
Let me ask you something. Would you guys have liked because there is one thing they changed in this movie leading up to it that I think was detriment, which was it was supposed to be John Jameson was supposed to bring the symbiote back to Earth.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been a better cause and effect than just finding a rock with fucking Venom on it.
Right.
I don't know why they cut that out. It's not like they were worried about time. This thing is long as shit.
It's because it's fucking 2 movies.
Right. I don't know. I think they should have followed through on doing that.
I just didn't like making Sandman Uncle Ben's killer.
No.
It kind of ham-fisted everything together.
I think there was too much of an effort to push to have Spider-Man have a connection with these guys as villains.
Though to be fair, that would have been one of the most actual comic book things is a shameless retcon to add drama.
That's true.
One of the things that does bum me out about this movie is it's the only one that's even made an attempt to do the Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane triangle, and they just punt it. It's basically Gwen Stacy's just there so Eddie Brock can be a parallel to Spider-Man. Like, she doesn't really... There's never a point where you think, oh, Peter might actually pick her. So it's still, I've always thought that's where the money is in Spider-Man. That's the best era of Spider-Man. And the fact that no movies really went through with doing it is kind of bullshit.
That's fair. It's amazing to me how I feel like people undervalue the relationship aspects of superhero stories because it's kind of the main thing.
Right.
We get the flashy action sequences are just to get you from point A to point B, but definitely we haven't had a really great love triangle. And then that's good shit.
I tell you one of the things I can definitely say I like about this one, Kirsten Dunst is better in this one than she is in any of the three of them. She actually emotes some.
Are we going to talk about the famous scene of this movie? As similar to the train scene? As famous as the train scene is the number 2, the dance emo scene.
More famous because it's a meme now.
So the dance emo scene from number 3 is probably the most famous thing that's come out of
I mean, it is, but right off the bat, first of all, I'm going hard on something. I hate that it's referred to as emo Spider-Man. When he does that stupid hairdo, that's the only point in any of these movies where Spider-Man is not emo.
That's actually true.
So I would say if you want to call that goth Spider-Man, goths have attitudes. So I could go with goth Spider-Man. That is not fucking emo Spider-Man. Anyway, you know what? I like the dance sequence. I thought it was fun. Also, everybody craps on that. It's not the only dancing in this movie. The fucking dancing with Harry and Mary Jane to the twist is way worse. It's
equally worse.
First of all, nobody, these people are portrayed as being in their 20s. At this point, they all look like they're 50. But nobody in their 20s is listening to the fucking twist in 2007. Come on now.
Yeah.
That brings me to also, Harry Osborn has way more to do in this movie than he does in any of them.
That's
so
true.
Much going on.
I just don't like that Harry Osborn has a lot to do with this movie.
That scene where he tells Peter that him and Mary Jane are dating in the cafe, and Peter leaves dejected, and the waitress asks, "How's the pie?" and he says so good. I have never seen an audience pop like I had the audience I was watching with that pop. It was a great fucking laugh.
He has gone.
He plays a smug asshole.
He
real
plays ridiculously evil.
He plays James Franco in this movie.
He does. That's probably why it's hard to watch that.
He, and then right after that, when he looks over the shoulder with the smile, I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
Well, what are the action scenes? You say they're good because I remember being disappointed in one in the back alley where James Franco's fighting Spider-Man. But like you're saying,
Okay,
what are they?
Have you guys forgot that there's amnesia in this movie?
Yes.
There's which
Harry Osborn has amnesia.
I love amnesia as a plot point. So this is like playing right in for me. Early on in the movie, when Peter's just riding his moped home, Harry Osborn attacks him as the Green Goblin. They get into a fight. He literally runs into a pipe with his fucking head and gets amnesia and forgets that he knows who Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and that Peter Parker had killed his dad.
Oh, I've completely forgotten all that.
It's like the middle third of the fucking movie. It's great.
Yeah, well, because that's the whole point where he's like having this friendly, like simple guy relationship with Mary Jane, and then they get extra close, and then he remembers, and then he's using this to malicious intent.
Right. He remembers right after he leaves. And mind you, at this point, Mary Jane's on the hook. Like, I think she would have left him. But instead, he goes and attacks her and says, either you break up with Peter or I'll kill him. So that's why they break up in this movie.
Uh-huh.
But I really think he could have just landed it with being a more handsome guy with a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, less of a dick than Peter
Right.
for almost all of this movie, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Because isn't this a movie? Does he fucking push Mary Jane or something? What happens?
Okay, he gets into a fight with some bouncers after the dance scene, and he accidentally knocks her over.
I remember it being like
aggressive
a preventable,
No,
accidental.
He could have just not shown up to the place being a fucking asshole.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but yeah, the other action scenes. There's a fight right after that with Thomas Hayden Church. Not right after that, but fairly soon.
Yeah,
with Thomas Hayden Church and Spider-Man. Which is like starts off like it's definitely going to be as good as the train one and the last one, but it's just too short.
Where is that? Is that the one like in a sand?
Yeah, it starts in a sand truck.
Yeah.
It's on the street and stuff like that. They later fight again in the sewer, and then there's the big fight at the end with both Sandman and Venom, where Harry comes and saves it. By the way, there is varying effects to those pumpkin bombs. It scars Harry a little, whereas it vaporizes Topher Grace.
Yeah.
You know, like, they maybe could have worked in like a setting or something, you know, because it really doesn't make a lot of sense that it varies so much.
You know what? Honestly, talking about it, you're turning me around in this movie because I realize if the Eddie Brock component wasn't like thrown in there, because the problem, I think everyone's problem with it is it's generally too busy.
Right.
Like there's too much going on and there's not enough of a cohesive thread. It just feels like you're throwing villains at Spider-Man. But two of them are fairly logical. Like the Harry one works. The Sandman, if you had the time that you committed to Eddie Brock, you could have fleshed that out to the sympathy that I think they were going for. Eddie Brock is the outlier here, and you're right. I don't even hate. I hated it then, but in retrospect, I don't hate that '70s show kid.
Right.
As Eddie Brock.
Maybe what going back is now I don't hate Topher Grace as much as I would like.
Yeah, I like Topher Grace.
Here's also the thing. You mentioned it being extra busy. You watch 2 and 3 back to back. They're both super busy. It's just 3 is more busy with superhero shit.
Sure.
Like 2 is busy with like soap opera shit, which I guess at that point in life, I think Spider-Man 3 released right now would have went over a lot better. Like, people are ready for that much superhero shit going on, obviously, after just watching Endgame.
I mean, it's also different because it's less formulaic because it's somewhat fucking nonsense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, all right, you know what? I'm turning it around. I'm saying better than Transformers.
I'm going better than Transformers on all.
Because I kind of want to rewatch it again now.
I guarantee you, even if you watch this movie again,
hashtag real phony.
Yeah.
And you still don't like it, you'll have fun rewatching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it too. I'm with Joseph.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, you know where I am with this? Let's go ahead and make fucking Spider-Man 4. Let's fucking do. Because here's my thing. Okay.
Can we
Is there
get
an old man Spider-Man comic book?
Can we get Tobey Maguire back and send him back to high school?
Well, I mean, here's my feelings on it. I've talked about this on the podcast before, whereas at the same time Casino Royale was being made, they were also, Quentin Tarantino wanted to make Casino Royale set in the 50s starring Pierce Brosnan. And I wish they would have just made both those fucking movies. We just did Spider-Verse. We just established the idea of there being different Spider-Mans. And people are a lot more savvy about shit like that now.
That's definitely true.
We don't have to stop making Tom Holland Spider-Man movies
No,
to
you can
make
do that.
another
Oh,
Tobey
yeah.
Maguire one. Let's fucking make Spider-Man 4. I bet it would make $11 billion.
Wow. It's really specific amount.
Bruce Campbell, supposedly Spider-Man 4. There has been what it was going to be has come out, and John Malkovich was going to play the Vulture.
Yeah. Which, how fucking good would that be?
I mean, Michael Keaton did great, but you're right. John Malkovich would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell, who had a different role as a cameo in the first 3 movies.
Yep.
He did Evil Dead with Sam Raimi. Supposedly was going to be back in a big way. Number 4 was Mysterio, who ended up now, it seems like Far From Home plucked the villains right out of
Well, also,
all the Spider-Man
we've
movies.
skipped right over some important historical information about Spider-Man 2. Is that with Spider-Man Far From Home coming out, with Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire 1 had hurt his back filming Seabiscuit.
Right.
Yeah.
And 2 was asking for a shit ton of money.
Right.
And so there was a contentious contract negotiation between him and Sony about doing Spider-Man 2 to the point where they threatened to drop him for another actor. And one of the actors that was supposedly on the line, or very heavily rumored on the line, was Jake Gyllenhaal.
I think at one point they leaked that he was signed. I don't know if he was actually signed, but they leaked
that
he
sounds
was
like a
signed.
thing.
There was
they
an
would
episode of Entourage that was based on that,
Right.
where Aquaman 2 was happening.
Yeah.
All my news I get off Entourage.
Shit, I don't remember where we were. What were we talking about?
I think
Spider-Man 4 stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about Spider-Man 4.
Black Cat was going to be
was going to be what's her?
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, who went on to be Catwoman.
Yeah,
which
so-
was good.
Same thing.
God, I'm glad they didn't do Black Cat.
Yeah,
Black Cat's not someone I like. She's such a Catwoman knockoff.
Well,
It's
and-
like, Jesus.
her powers are really hard to sell in a real world universe.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, they do a lot of
She's just
comic book
lucky,
science
right?
in these movies. Yeah, that's her thing. She's lucky. Her power is she's lucky.
See that, like, with Domino and Deadpool?
Well,
the only
yeah,
way
I
you
mean,
can
Domino
do
did that,
but
but
only
they
in a
made
joke.
it a joke.
A joke,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The only way you can do it is a joke.
I don't know. Say, if someone could do that particular style, I think Sam Raimi could pull it
Yeah,
off.
no. I mean, Sam Raimi did not shy away from the silly shit about
No.
Spider-Man in these movies, and I think that's my favorite part about it.
Yeah, I would agree. Better than Transformers.
This is kind of off track, but do you guys? This is you guys always talk about hills to die on. My hill to die on is I wish the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies would have just been Spider-Man 4 and 5.
Sure.
There would have been no reboot aspect. They would have been, they would have just went forward with the story. Because I really like those movies in the aspects where they go forward. The Gwen romance, the George Stacy, the new villains, But it's not even that President Bartlett is worse as Uncle Ben. He's exactly the same as
Sure.
Uncle Ben. I don't know.
We don't have time to get into the Amazing Spider-Man movies and why I feel they're a substantial step down from the Raimi Spider-Man.
I think they're really well cast, and I think they do the romance stuff better in those than any of the other Spider-Man movies. But the plots are a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also hate Andrew.
They're worse.
Yeah,
They're
but
worse than Transformers.
I don't have time for this.
I can't even remember the first one.
Yeah. But yeah, Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, if you guys haven't seen them in a while,
You got me hyped talking
yeah.
about. Well, I'm watching 3 again.
I-
the other 2 I don't really want to watch after talking about it. You're right. I want to watch 3. Again.
I have a big fondness for these movies, and I definitely think that even though they are influential early superhero movies, they still hold up as like they're not like old 50s movies that you're like, oh, I know this was like important for other movies,
you're
but
not like suffering through it.
right, exactly.
It's not like, and I'm like speaking ill of a sacred cow here, but it's not like watching the first Predator now and it feels like just watching like a bunch of muscular dudes play in the woods.
I mean, that's actually my favorite part about watching Predator now.
I love Predator.
You know what ruined Predator for me? I'm going to tell you what ruined Predator for me. I was watching at someone's house who had motion smoothing turned on.
Oh
their
no,
TV.
that would be
And
terrible.
it was just so bad. It just looked like a bunch of dudes playing in the woods. If that's how when you want to live your life in private, that's fine. But when you have company over, turn that shit off.
Jesus Christ, what kind of monster friends do you have?
I will not say because it's a very close friend.
That's fair. But cool. I think that's it for the Spider-Man films from almost 20 years ago now. What have we been watching, guys?
I watched yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And
When did you watch it?
I watched it 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or did I watch it yesterday? When did I text you guys about it?
I don't know.
Not yesterday.
Okay. I fucking loved that movie. That movie was a great movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil too much about it because, it's one of those things where it's a concept that it could have went either way. Like if it wasn't, it seems like it would have been really hard to land, and they landed it perfectly.
I saw it too, and it's like a Twilight Zone episode almost, and I like the running joke they do about with Google.
Yeah,
which
I was going to
so
say
good.
I didn't want to mention too much about that because that's the funniest part, and there's a joke about it at the end that's really fucking funny. But yeah, and also sequel to last week's show, it's a great fucking rom-com.
100%.
It does not advertise itself as that, but it 100% is.
It reminds me of Baby Driver 2 summers ago, kind of like a small summer movie,
Yeah.
and they both have that Lily James, and she's cute. That's how I would describe her.
Yeah.
For being older, you know what I mean? They, especially in this movie, she's playing a cute character.
Right.
The manager is pretty likable.
Yeah.
And he's likable too.
He's likable. His dumb friend is likable.
Yeah. I like the Beatles covers because they remix a lot of them.
They do. There's at one point where he does sort of like a almost punk pop take on Help. And it's at a point where he needs help.
Yeah.
And, it could have been too on the nose, but instead it was fucking perfect.
Supposedly I read a thing that the musical director for it was trying to remake Beatles songs as least faithfully as possible to the original recordings.
Right.
There's a funny gag where he's trying... What song is he playing on the piano for his parents?
What is he? Is it... It's not Hey Jude, but it's one like...
It's like Yesterday, one of them. I don't know. But... They just keep interrupting.
Yeah.
He's like, you motherfuckers, you're hearing fucking, Picasso for the first time, and you don't understand it, you don't appreciate it, and they're like, you're a little fool yourself.
They just it's funny, at that point, I thought the movie was going to go in a different direction. I thought it was going to go in if the Beatles happened now, they wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Because people are too distracted by other shit. But the message is definitely more that these songs will overcome no matter what.
Yep.
Like I said, there's a lot of stuff I don't want to spoil.
Yeah.
You know who I didn't like, though?
Who?
Is, you're not supposed to really, but I didn't think she was very great, was Kate McKinnon, who's usually great in a lot of stuff.
See, I think this was the best use of Kate McKinnon's
I don't
shtick.
like her. See, I don't like her shtick.
Yeah.
That's her thing. She's annoying to me.
I think she plays like a sleazy record executive person, and man, does she nail it.
Yeah, she's annoying.
I will say, I know we've been skeptical about this before seeing it, but Danny Boyle knows how to make a crowd pleaser.
That's the thing. I really hope some big crowds are going to see this because there are some big crowd jokes.
It's done well for us.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, we were talking back based on last episode. It's the guy who wrote Love Actually.
Oh, really?
Romantic comedy. So yeah, Danny Boyle directed it, and it's the writer of Love Actually.
There's not as much cause and effect stuff that you would think, but there is one that, you find out that, of course, Oasis doesn't exist.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that's spoiling too much
No.
because, of course, Oasis wouldn't exist. But then later you find out that Pulp does exist. So that means that Britpop still happened without Oasis. So what I wonder is then, who was the biggest Britpop band? Was Blur the biggest Britpop band? Maybe Radiohead broke earlier. Maybe they were the biggest Britpop band. That was my big question going out of this. I wanted to see that movie. I'm sure I'm the only person on earth who does.
If you ever catch fucking Danny Boyle or anybody associated in this movie at a Comic-Con, you can ask him.
Right.
Anything else?
Just watch the fucking movie. Oh, one thing I did want to say, it being a rom-com, it's a throwback to last week. Ian did not bring up his favorite rom-com.
Which one?
You didn't bring up Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
That's
shit.
your
How did we
favorite
skip
movie.
that?
I know, because we had talked about it in text message, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was off my brain.
Yeah,
Silver Linings is my favorite movie, and it's a drama romantic comedy.
Because I got chastised by Sarah and Regina for saying that all girls like The Princess Bride when they both do not like The Princess Bride. And I don't know how, but that reminded me. He's like, hey, why didn't Ian bring up Silver Linings Playbook? That's it. That's all I really watched. Besides a lot of Spider-Man movies.
Well, I forgot to mention this last week. I started up they put up the first episode of the second season of the Wolverine podcast that they did last year.
Was that good?
I have mixed feelings about it. I know Hurt likes it. I know Christian likes it. I have problems with a lot of these radio serials because I feel like because it's an audio medium that you have to overemphasize your emoting. And even for there's a character in the first season where like there's a reason for it, they still I feel like overdo it. And so like it's hard for me to take the acting seriously. The production value on it is great. The story is pretty good because it's like it's only peripherally involving the superhero aspect of it. And so it kind of feels like a regular like cop drama mystery detective story. But then you find out that there are kind of superpowers involved. It doesn't really like resolve all this shit very well, but it's an entertaining listen. But the second season so far, it takes place in New Orleans, and we're getting some real stretched New Orleans accents.
Isn't your boy Gambit from X-Men Origins in that movie? In this thing?
No, it's fucking the guy from The Hobbit. Can't think of his name. Richard Armitage is Wolverine.
But the character Gambit's not in the podcast?
Oh yeah, no, he definitely is. It's in New Orleans.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Of course it is.
Whenever I watch a movie with an accent, either I do or I often encounter, I always feel bad for British people.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying? Like when you're watching The Walking Dead and you're seeing everybody's shitty fucking Southern accent, you're like, man, British people must fucking hate this happening to them all the time.
Yeah. The other thing, I started the second season of One Punch Man because it's over now, so I'm gonna start up again. It's the humor's still there. They changed animation studios and it shows, and that's a bummer because the first season's so fucking good. But I'm still gonna watch it. I think it's still gonna be good. I watched more of Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is the Netflix show. Sorry, this is all anime, Ian. This is gonna be painful for you. It's
And Christian's not here.
I know he's not. It's it's kind of a mech show. It's I don't know. It's complicated. It definitely seems like it's gonna be really bleak at some point. But then the like regular episodes between when they're hinting at the bleakness are really goofy, and every episode the world is on the line, and everyone's very blasé about it. Right. And it like the tones just don't fully match up to me. But the artist,
but is that on purpose? That could be super fun.
I'm not sure if it's on purpose.
Like, if it's just your punch-in clock job to save the world.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Every single one is like, if we don't do this one-shot thing that has like a 0.0001% chance, the whole world's going to end and we're all going to die. Right. But everyone's just like, all right, have fun, go do it. I don't know. It's weird. I'm invested in it. It's interesting. And then I actually watched it the night of because it was important to me. The Attack on Titan season finale was last night, and it's one of those shows that I've struggled with because it's been a lot like Game of Thrones in that besides the brutal deaths of main characters at random points, it struggles between having these like exceptional episodes with these like weird like rushed episodes where they're just throwing plot shit at you. And this season's definitely been an odd mix of that, but the season finale is just so fucking good. They do such a good job at the end of this season, which is the end of the third season. It's a long season. They've essentially accomplished everything that they wanted to accomplish at the beginning of the first season.
Right.
But they've just learned so much stuff and like just learned that their situation is so much different than they thought it was that like it's still a great moment. Like it's a beautiful moment when like all the things come together that they wanted to happen, but then it's like, but there's still so much more. Like things are just so much different than they thought they were at the beginning of the first season.
Well, that show seems to be the anime that people who aren't talking about anime talk about.
Well, I mean, that was true in the first season. I think the viewership has dropped off a lot because it's just taken so fucking long to get them out. But
right.
It really is worth it. I know you guys aren't anime guys, but it's really good. So all of those things are better than Transformers, except for the Wolverine podcast, which is to be determined.
All I watched Spider-Man Far From Home last night.
No spoilers.
I will say it's dope. I told you guys, Jake Gyllenhaal blew me. Like, he's really good in it. Right. Like, he's like someone that you'll walk out talking about it. The best Marvel movie I think I've seen since Black Panther.
I have a really vague question that I want no specific answers to, so I don't even know why I'm asking.
I don't give spoilers.
Okay. They say this is the last movie in this phase. Is there a good reason for that? For it not being Endgame being the last movie in the phase?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, nothing like that. But definitely stay for the after credits. That's back.
Cool.
And they're both super cool. But yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal is awesome. The marketing of like you guys have seen is only the first, like I said, 45 minutes. So like Like when it got to like the first hours over, I'm like, what the fuck's this movie gonna go? And then it just like flips on its head, but definitely has the 80s vibe. Tony Stark is, looming over after Endgame kind of thing. And European vacation, some romance. MJ's awesome in it.
Oh, good.
The thing,
she's really, really good.
My big problem with the first one is a lot of the sporting cast I did not feel had acquired the skill of acting yet.
Yeah.
And particularly MJ. I think I've said this on the podcast before. She mostly just looked like she was holding in a fart.
Yeah, she's acting. She's a different character. You know what I mean? Like she's playing it different.
All the shit I've seen for this, it looks like she does a lot better in this.
Yeah, she's cool. Yeah, it's pretty too. Like the special effects are like better than Endgame. I thought from some of the
stuff.
Okay. So like I think it's because there's less character.
There's less huge.
Yeah. It's a smaller scale, but it's very well done.
I will say there is one other thing I watched this week. I'd watched all 3 of these Spider-Man movies, and I was like, man, these special effects hold up. And then I watched Infinity War right after it.
Nah.
You need a palate cleanser between those. You need a little character piece.
But and then yesterday. Those are the only 2 things I've seen.
And yesterday better than Transformers?
Both. Spider-Man definitely better than Transformers, and yesterday definitely better than Transformers.
Good deal. I suspect that will probably be what our podcast is about next week, Spider-Man Far From Home.
I can't see why it wouldn't.
I can't see why it wouldn't be. I forgot to cancel my AMC A-list thing, so I might as well get my fucking money's worth out of it.
Yeah.
Those fuckers.
Yeah, I want to watch it again. It's that good.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think that's it for this week. Hopefully, Christian will be back next week. But if not, maybe he'll just be being a good father. I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like he has to come back for Spider-Man.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for this week. So thank you guys for listening. Please rate and subscribe and like and tell all your friends. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us at Real Phonies. Oh, shit. I'm glad I reminded myself. We got...
What did you...
We got...
You just spazzed out there.
I really hope you don't cut that out.
I'm not.
That's my favorite part of it.
We got an email from one of our faithful listeners, old Chandler, who we all know from back in the day of Living the Life.
Oh, right on.
That Chandler.
Yeah, right on.
Who actually sent us to both our emails, better than transformers@gmail.com and realphonies@gmail.com. Yes, Chandler, we got both of them. But he wanted to write in about Godzilla because he feels like everyone but Christian missed the point. Chandler, I'm gonna read you out here. Y'all have finally gotten me worked up enough to send you an email like a curmudgeonly grandpa I am. I spent entirely too long convincing Erin to go see it, and then convincing her afterwards it wasn't bad. People who don't like that movie had way too high of expectations. It's a perfectly dumb monster action movie. Does it need Millie Bobby Brown? No. But who cares? It gave him an excuse to get a few shots that were straight rip-offs of Stranger Things. Christian nailed everything that makes the movie good. There were some cool shots, the one he brought with Rodan for sure, and the fights with Ghidorah are very entertaining. Excited to hear what Hertz thinks, and definitely side with Christian on this movie. Everything a Godzilla movie needs to be.
First of all, I'm just happy to hear that Chandler and Erin are still
they just got married.
Shout outs for romance.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congrats.
Love isn't dead.
Chandler and Erin, better than Transformers.
Yep.
All right, let's not go that far.
I would agree with him that my expectations were too high for that movie.
That's probably...
I always do it with Godzilla. The first one, too, because I love Pacific Rim so much, so I think it automatically goes sky high. So, I did. I had way too... Especially when they brought in all the monsters, I was like, this is... I don't know what I was expecting.
I think here's my problem with it, and this is my direct retort, is that I don't have a problem with the monster fighting bits, and I don't even have a problem with the amount of screen time the humans had in it. I just think someone saw the silence in between giant monster fights and decided, I'm going to fill it with a fuck ton of exposition. And I just think we didn't need any of that.
I feel like as an anime fan, though, you should love that shit.
Oh, you suffer through certain things for the art.
Right.
I'm not sure it's something that should transition to American big blockbuster movies.
I'm someone who I like exposition if you get a good person to deliver it.
I mean, to be fair, Bradley Whitford is pretty entertaining.
I was going to say Bradley Whitford would probably be great at it.
I remember King Ghidorah not looking great either. But I watched it once at midnight. So, look, my memory of this is hazy at best.
I mean, I've done many of those where I've watched a movie too late on not a good day,
Yep.
and I took it out.
Like, I was half asleep when I watched it, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. But thanks, Chandler. And please, anybody else who has opinions and wants to yell at us on the internet, we'd love to hear it. I will read them out on air. Thanks again to everybody. I think I did all Real Phonies on Facebook and Twitter, and Real_Phonies on Instagram. And thanks to Zach Evans for art, Brian Velasquez for our theme. And we'll see you guys next week.